Hey there, everybody. As you're joining in, we're going to get started in just a few moments. All right. Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to the May SDEC session. My name is Julia Petrie from Search Discovery. And if you are a returning SDEC member, welcome back. And if this is your first SDEC session, we are excited to have you. So the Search Discovery education community offers webinars just like this on various topics such as digital strategy, CDP, data science, and so many more. So we have lots of on-demand content. So if you're interested in checking out some of our past topics, I will be placing a link to our online library in the chat function here shortly. If you haven't done so yet, please make sure that you join our email list so that you can get all the latest webinar updates. And you can join by scanning that QR code on the screen, or I'll be placing another link in the chat. So during today's session, if you have any questions for our speaker, please make sure you place those questions in the Q&A section of Zoom, and we'll make sure to get to those at the end. So finally, I'm excited to introduce you to Adam Babcock of Search Discovery, who has 16 years of marketing technology experience with a special focus on Salesforce Marketing Cloud. And he is here to share how you can maximize your Salesforce Marketing Cloud investment. So with that, I will turn it over to you, Adam.
Thanks, Julia. Welcome, everyone. Looking forward to talking to you today about Marketing Cloud and how you can get the most out of your Marketing Cloud investment. So for an agenda, I'll give you a quick introduction on myself, and then we'll talk a little bit about the benefits of Salesforce Marketing Cloud, and then some key areas to focus on in terms of best practices and strategies you can use to implement. And then at the end, we'll have Q&A. And as Julia said, feel free to put those questions into the chat or the question and answer part of the tool while we're going, or toward the end if anything pops up. All right. So as Julia mentioned, my name is Adam Babcock. I'm a senior data solutions architect at Search Discovery. Been in the marketing technology industry for the last 16 years, but really focusing on Salesforce Marketing Cloud over the past 12 years. So over that time, I've implemented numerous Marketing Cloud stand-ups for clients from the ground up, architected data solutions, and built countless automated marketing programs for clients ranging from small companies to Fortune 500 companies. I've also earned 5 Salesforce certifications and 3 accredited professional designations, including the Salesforce Marketing Cloud Certified Consultant and Developer. All right, so for the benefits of Salesforce Marketing Cloud, I'm just going to kind of quickly go over a few things. I'm making the assumption that a lot of you either already have Marketing Cloud or maybe possibly thinking of making that migration to it, but you might be familiar with it. But for those of you who aren't as familiar, just wanted to give a quick overview of kind of what it is and what are some of the key benefits. So first, Marketing Cloud is more than just an email platform. If you're aware, it started off as ExactTarget. Salesforce purchased that and turn that into its Marketing Cloud product. And over time, it has added on to that through internal programs, as well as more purchases of other technologies that they've kind of added on to the product. But really what it is a centralized platform for managing and executing personalized marketing campaigns across various channels. So not just email, but also social, mobile, and across the web. And what it allows you to do is automate your programs for efficiency. It is a marketing automation tool, so that should be no surprise to anyone. But it helps you streamline and optimize your marketing processes from email campaigns to lead nurturing campaigns, customer journeys. The automation saves you time, it ensures consistency, and enables timely interactions with your customers. It also is one of the key functionalities of Marketing Cloud is its ability to allow you to personalize campaigns. So personalization is crucial in today's landscape. We'll get into that a little bit further into the presentation. But Marketing Cloud enables you to deliver personalized experiences across email, across the web, across mobile, all the different channels at scale. Using robust segmentation and automation capabilities, you can tailor that messaging, content, offers, all based on individual preferences and behavior and interactions. Marketing Cloud offers you scalability and flexibility. So it is designed with your business needs in mind, whether you're a small business or an enterprise level organization, the platform can accommodate your growing marketing requirements. And finally, it's a Salesforce product. So it integrates with other Salesforce products, which if you have Marketing Cloud, there's a good chance you have CRM or one of its other products. And they have built connectors and easy to use tools that allow you to integrate those products for better collaboration, data sharing, creating a unified customer view, and just leading to more targeted and effective marketing campaigns. So that's kind of the gist on Marketing Cloud. And now we'll talk about how you can really get the most out of your account. So we'll start with data management. And as I mentioned, I've been in this industry for about 16 years, and no matter where I've gone and what I've done, the number one thing that always comes up is data is king. Data is the foundation of your Marketing Cloud, of your marketing programs. So what are some things you want to think about around data management? Do you have clean and reliable data? Prior to putting any data into Marketing Cloud, you want to be able to assess the quality of the data and first see if you need to put any processes in place upstream to improve or ensure the quality of that data before going into Marketing Cloud. And then you want to make sure you're continuing to conduct regular data quality assessments to identify and resolve upstream data issues. What data should live in Marketing Cloud? Marketing Cloud is a marketing automation tool. It is not a data warehouse. It can connect to data warehouses, but it itself is not a data warehouse. So you don't want to treat it as one. You don't want to put all your data in there just because you're looking for a place to store it. Really only try to include data that is relevant to your marketing program initiatives, and try and do as much cleansing or manipulating of that data in external systems prior to integrating it into Marketing Cloud. What is the source of truth? So when data issues arise, what is that source of truth that takes precedence over everything else? Make sure you plan that, you know what it is, so that in the event of any issues, you have processes in place that will be able to rectify that data. How do you get data into Marketing Cloud? So there are several ways to get data into Marketing Cloud. We're actually going to talk about this in a couple of slides, but it's important to note that there are different ways to do it based on how you want to use that data. So if you use other Salesforce products, or you need access to data in real time, or you have data that can be updated overnight, all different ways to get that data into Marketing Cloud, and you want to make sure you're using the right one for your use cases. And then really just understand how your data relates and maps to each other. Being able to connect those dots is really important. Documenting that, being able to share that with your team members for marketing programs and things like that is all extremely important when you're thinking about how you're managing your data in Marketing Cloud. All right, so what are some of the best practices around data management? One, plan ahead. Okay, that sounds simple, but you really want to make sure you're taking the time to craft that data model. Engage your internal data teams to determine the best way to get clear, actionable data into Marketing Cloud. Make sure you're establishing those data quality standards and you're implementing validation to ensure the quality and consistency of your data. Define how you plan to conduct regular data quality checks, as well as how to identify and resolve issues. And have a well-defined data recovery plan to minimize downtime and data loss in the event of a system failure. Optimize data ingestion for usage. So this is what I was just talking about a little bit on the previous slide, but really determine how you ingest your data based on those individual use cases. So if you use other Salesforce products like the CRM, use the data connector that's available. It's called Marketing Cloud Connect. It facilitates smooth data integration and synchronization. It allows you access to all of your data in Sales Cloud at a refresh rate of up to 15 minutes. So instead of having to put together some real complicated process to get that data updated as often as you can, use the connector, and it's literally like a couple clicks of the button and you're good to go. Do you need access in real time? Marketing Cloud has is completely accessible via API. So if you need real-time data, use those APIs to get that data connected and so that it's up to date and ready whenever you need it. And then for data that you don't need updated as often, use those batch processes over the FTP. Marketing Cloud comes with its own dedicated SFTP instance for every business unit that you have. So you can utilize those and really take care of that data that could be handled overnight or during downtime. So just make sure you're always thinking about how data works. It's not all the same. You don't use it the same way. And really customize that strategy based on how and when you need to access that data. And then the third thing is documentation. And this is a step that is often overlooked. A lot of times people feel like we need to get things running fast. I'm going to skip that documentation phase. We'll get to it at another time down the road. And often that doesn't happen because other things come up and you never end up getting everything documented. But I can't stress enough the importance of creating and maintaining comprehensive documentation, especially around data, what your data sources are, how they're getting into the system, definitions of that data, mappings and processes. This will all be so helpful when you have new employees that you're onboarding, or if you're using a new partner that needs to get up to speed on what's running in your account, as well as making sure you don't lose any knowledge if someone leaves. So do it up front before it's too late. Okay, so next we're going to talk about personalization and segmentation. So does it really matter? It does. And here's why. 91% of consumers say that they are more willing to do business with a company that provides directly relevant offers to them. 80% of e-commerce users only choose companies that personalize their experience. 74% of customers become frustrated when their email communication experience isn't personalized. And finally, segmented and personalized campaigns drive a 760% increase in revenues. So how do we do that in Marketing Cloud? A couple of the segmentation tools that it offers are data filters and filtered data extensions. Data filters give you a drag and drop UI where you can do some simple segmentation using profile attributes or data extension attributes. So if you're not really good with SQL queries, which we'll talk about in a second, that's not your area of expertise, you're basically creating SQL queries in the back end using these drag and drop filters. SQL queries, however, give you the ability to do a lot more complex segmentation. So you can join different data sets together. You can also query backend system data views that you don't have access to when using things like data filters and filtered data extensions. And finally, it's not on the screen here, but you can also create measures, which then become part of the data filter data extension process. But a measure is a unit of subscriber behavior that you're able to define. So things like total opens in the last 30 days, total click-throughs in the last 30 days, hard bounces in the last month. You can define those into measures, and then they become draggable filters within those data filters and data extensions. All right, for personalization tools, there are personalization strings. These allow you to insert subscriber attributes or data extension attributes into your emails. They can appear in subject line, pre-header, or in the contents of your email. And in addition to subscriber attributes, there are some system data personalization strings that you can pull in as well. Things like email name, current day of the week, things like that. So really, it's just those 2% signs that you see in the front and in the back, followed by the name of the attribute that you're trying to pull in. And it's a really easy way to personalize your content. There's also dynamic content blocks. These allow you to define what content to display based on profile attributes or data extension attributes in order to deliver targeted, personalized content to your audience. They can be used in any type of email other than a text-based email. And you can define default content that will display if the subscriber doesn't meet those rules. So these are, again, it's basically giving you some of that AMP script, really advanced content, dynamic content ability in a out-of-the-box tool where you can create rules based off of attributes that you have defined in your system to display a certain type of content. And then if you really want to get complex and do some really cool stuff, you can use AmpScript, which is a proprietary scripting language for Salesforce. And it can be used in emails, cloud pages, SMS messages, push notifications. And you can do some really cool stuff. You can display subscriber data and relational data within your content. You can update, insert, manipulate data in your data extensions. You can make calculations and decisions on content generation at the time of send, and you can build row sets from delimited strings or XML. So there's a ton of stuff you can do with AmpScript. And the nice thing about AmpScript is that it renders at the time of send. So you're kind of getting up to the date, real time content based off of data in your account when that email goes out. All right, so for best practices, I kind of went over a couple things that I like to do when setting up accounts for clients. So the first thing on the data side, in terms of segmentation, is creating a master data extension. So this is a data extension of sendable subscribers that consolidates data from all of your different sources into one table. So you want to include fields that you want to use for segmentation purposes, but also fields that allow you to do some simple personalization. And these do not have to be like existing defined fields within your data sets, but you can derive them or calculate them through a query process when you're creating that master data extension. So for example, give you kind of some context here. Let's say you have a contact feed that comes into Marketing Cloud, and you also have a transactional feed. The contact feed has demographic data, and transactional feed is a feed of all the transactions that your customers have made. So you can put those together into one master data extension, but be really smart about which fields from those you're including. So for example, you have your standard fields, email address, first name, last name, but you could also include gender and state or zip, that you could use those fields for segmenting. I want all of the customers who are male to get this email versus female. I want everyone who lives within this geographic region. So you could use those fields to do some simple filtering of the data extensions. But those fields could also be used in personalization, which we'll talk about in a second. But then from that transactional feed, you could include things like has purchased a product within the last 30 days, or recently purchased a specific product that you're thinking of. So while those might not be fields that are in the transactional feed, through the query process, you can create a field, purchased within the last 30 days, and then you can just have that be true or false, and then you can use that for segmentation. So everyone who has purchased in the last 30 days is one segment versus everyone else who hasn't, things like that. And then once you have your master data extension, you can create filters. You can use filters to create subsegments of that master data extension. And then finally, you want to be able to automate that process so that those segments are always refreshed, ready to use, that you don't have to do any manual intervention. So you can kind of see on the right side of the screen, the top is a screenshot of an example of a master data extension. And then we've created some subsegments of those using filters based off of those fields that we included. So then for personalization, using that master data extension and the fields we include in it, you want to use personalization strings and the out-of-the-box dynamic content tools for some of the more simple use cases of personalization. On the screenshot here, this is just an example of, you can see we included the first name in the email. That's a personalization string. But then that image that displays, the hero image, is dynamic content. So if the gender within our data says that they're male, they're going to get one image versus females who are going to get a different image. And then we can set a default content. If we don't have that data on that person, what image do we want to show them? We define that and use it. And this is all using that out-of-the-box tool. And then we can utilize our relational data extensions and AMP scripts for some of that more advanced personalization. So for instance, let's say we had a segment where we were using the purchase in the last 30 days. We can use the simple segmentation from our master data extension, that field we created. But let's say within the email, we want to pull in specific product details of that last purchase, of that last product they purchased. So you can use AMP script to do a lookup to that transactional feed to pull in that specific item and pull in whatever details of that product we want in the email, image, name, price, that kind of stuff, and include that. And we don't have to have all that in our master data extension. All right, so the next piece is automation. So what are some of the benefits of marketing automation? Makes your team more efficient. It helps to reduce the costs associated with marketing efforts, and it reduces the likelihood of mistakes. Manual execution of marketing campaigns can be time consuming. It can be prone to errors. So you really want to try and automate as many of those activities as possible. Marketing Cloud is an automation tool. That is what it is known for. So you want to make sure you're utilizing those features to help you streamline your processes. So there's really two main tools to help you do that within Marketing Cloud. The first is Automation Studio. So This is an application within Marketing Cloud that is used to execute multi-step marketing and data management activities on an immediate, triggered, or scheduled basis. On the left, you can see all the different activities that you can include, but you can do things like import or export files, run data filters or SQL queries, extract data from data extensions, transfer it from FTP locations. You can send emails, mobile messages, and you can even do some really advanced things like run server-side JavaScripts to initiate API calls. So there is like a ton of opportunity and things you can do within Automation Studio. So it's a really powerful tool that you're likely to be in a lot of if you are building out programs within Marketing Cloud. And then the next is Journey Builder. Journey Builder has really kind of become the heart of Marketing Cloud. And it's the tool that gives you that ability to run those omni-channel customer journeys where you have this really nice drag and drop interface that gives you the ability to use just data for decision splits. You can use engagement splits where you are sending people down different paths based on whether or not they engage with your communications. You can use some of the optimization tools that they have to help you run testing. So randomized splits, path optimizer, where it's actually choosing, you set up a split of content and it's helping you choose the winner and then directing all the traffic towards that winning content. And it integrates with your CRM when you have the Marketing Cloud Connect set up. So you can directly update stuff within Sales Cloud as well. You can create cases, convert leads to contacts, update lead contact records, enter people into campaigns. You can use campaigns as a source of an entry for a Journey Builder. There's a ton of opportunity when you have that connection between your CRM and Journey Builder. So what are some of the best practices when it comes to these two tools? First, use Journey Builder to build those always-on omni-channel campaigns. While Automation Studio can definitely be used to automate campaign sends, it's important to try to think of Journey Builder as your means for delivering your messages. So this will get you in the mindset of thinking how you can develop your campaigns to be multi-channel, as opposed to just thinking of how can I send an email, how can I send a push message, something like that. Journey Builder also offers the ability to integrate some of its Einstein capabilities into your campaign, so you can determine the optimal time to send to people, the likelihood of their engagement, some of that cool AI stuff that you really can get a lot of benefit out of. And then when you incorporate dynamic content into your journeys, you're able to consolidate the number of journeys and the number of messages that you need to create. So just really, think of Journey Builder as that campaign sending tool. Just really kind of get you in that mindset of, how can I be building programs that I don't have to manually intervene in all the time? How can I be building programs that are including all of my different channels that I want to communicate to? And then when it comes to the Automation Studio, use that to process and prepare your data. That is where it really shines. I mean, yes, you can put an email message or something at the end of it, but you really want to, it really gives you the power to prepare your data, to process it, get things where you want it to be. It has validation steps that you can include in your automation, so you can check for expected levels of data, tell the automation to stop if you're encountering something that you don't expect. So it's a really powerful tool, especially when it comes to data. And then finally, one more thing before I move on. while these tools have different uses, do not think of them as independent tool sets. Oftentimes, you will couple them together, where Automation Studio is the first step in your journey process. And the end of that will be injecting eligible subscribers into Journey Builder. So you prepare your data for the journey in Automation Studio, send them into Journey Builder, and then run your campaigns through Journey Builder. All right, and then finally, the last thing we're going to talk about is connecting the clouds. Talked about this early on. One of the great benefits of Marketing Cloud is it is a Salesforce product, and it has a lot of great connectors and the ability to integrate with other Salesforce products easily. So again, Salesforce CRM, you heard me mention it a couple of times. That is a really popular compatibility, right? Like a lot of people that have Marketing Cloud also have Salesforce CRM. Salesforce CRM tends to be your kind of source of truth for customer data. And so having that ability to connect those two tools is imperative. You have that almost real-time access to the data within your Sales Cloud environments. And you can even sort of use it as an API for journeys, right? So you can inject people into journeys based off of actions that take place in Sales Cloud instead of having to set up an API, something like that. So it's a really nice feature that you can use for real-time delivery of emails based on things that are happening within the Sales Cloud environment. There's also connectors, the Commerce Cloud. Marketing Cloud Personalization is a newer tool that has come out, which allows you, gives you the ability to deliver custom personalized experiences across your websites. And it integrates with Journey Builder and Marketing Cloud. And so you can send relevant messages with product recommendations, all driven by on-site actions of your customers. And then the newest jewel in the box is the Salesforce Data Cloud, formerly referred to as the CDP. And this is where you can really combine all of your data sources into one system and come up with that true 360-degree customer view, which you can then create segments based off of multiple sources and activate those back out to Marketing Cloud for use in journey campaigns. You can use it for advertising campaigns, all the different things you can do in Marketing Cloud. CDP can kind of be that source of truth for how you segment your customers. And then finally, while we've talked a lot about how it integrates with other Salesforce products, it also integrates with other clouds as well. So Salesforce has done a really good job lately of building on some of that functionality. And you can connect to Google Cloud, for exporting or importing data. They've released some new functionality that integrates with data warehouses like Snowflake, where you can directly query data from Snowflake into Sales Cloud without having to extract that data and import it into Marketing Cloud. The two systems are kind of not Sales Cloud. Two systems are talking together. And so some of that hasn't made its way into all of the different platforms, but it will soon. And so there's really a lot of opportunity to make sure all your data sources are being activated and used within your different platforms. So that brings us to the end of the presentation. So it looked like there were maybe a couple questions already, Julia.
Yeah, there was one question, and thank you so much for giving us all the overview. I mean, you're a company that has so many different solutions or products. You probably have so many contacts too. So I can just tell that this Salesforce Marketing Cloud is a great tool, for all the automation. Not only can you automate things, I mean, you can keep everyone organized. So this is really cool. Yeah, so we did have one question so far. So if you have any questions, make sure to get them in the chat. We'll get to them during the segment. So the first question we had was, what has been the biggest benefit of working with Salesforce as opposed to other CRM or CDP products? I have a client wanting to step into this area, but struggling to choose a provider.
That's a good question. I mean, and what each is it's kind of its own question, right? So CRM has a much different functionality than if you're looking at a CDP solution and things like that. One of the big benefits of choosing Salesforce for these types of solutions is dependent on your suite of products that you use in your tech stack. So if you are already using one or two Salesforce products, it makes a lot of sense to at least investigate and seriously look at Salesforce's other products that you're looking to get into, because of those integrations, the way the tools work together. When they're all Salesforce products, there is an inherent benefit to that. But each tool itself, and I will say, Marketing Cloud is my area of expertise. CRM goes a little bit beyond. Getting into the nuts and bolts of that is a little bit beyond me, but the tools themselves, while they don't have the maybe as easy a time integrating with some outside technologies as well, they do offer that ability. A lot of times, especially Marketing Cloud, I've built programs where it's integrating with Adobe CDPs or Microsoft products or things like that. So really, you just have to be creative a little bit sometimes about how you're bringing that data in and building out those connections. Again, the fact that Salesforce has such a robust API environment gives it a lot of gives it a leg up on a lot of things where you can really access that data all the time. But you have to know how to get the data in, how to get the data out, all that kind of stuff. And when you're not using all Salesforce products, you just have to make sure you're really architecting that in a way that makes sense.
Yeah, those are all really good points. We did have another question come through from Lauren. Can you speak more about capabilities of Data Cloud? Are you aware of any new features introduced since the name change from CDP?
Yeah, from CDP to Genie to Data Cloud, the Salesforce likes to change its names quite a bit. Yeah, I will say this, I'm not 100% up to speed on all of the most recent updates. Data Cloud is a big area of focus for Salesforce, and they are committing a ton of development resources to that product. So they are constantly updating it with the new release cycles that have been going on. So from the introduction of it to where we are today has grown vastly. And some of the things, like I mentioned, with the integration. So originally it was quite limited to how you could bring data in or activate data out, and they've definitely upgraded that quite a bit. The Snowflake integration is, I don't know if that's generally available right now. I think it might be in beta still, but that is a big piece for where they're going. That is a huge integration for CDP, being able to get that data directly from Snowflake into Data Cloud. But yeah, I mean, honestly, Data Cloud is a topic in and of itself, and maybe we could make a point to make that one of our next topics of discussion for SDEC. But there are, like I said, there are a ton of updates that have already happened. So many that it's kind of hard to keep up with.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah, just a little plug here. We do have a blog post on the Search Discovery channel, on our blog posts, just talking about all of these different names and the changes. So I can provide that to people in the follow-up email too. Let's see, we still have a little bit more time. And as you were going through the slides, I had a few questions myself. So as a person moves through the journey builder, can you assign a scoring system to track those who are more highly engaged than others?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the great things about Journey Builder is that it gives you the ability to do a lot of custom things based on what you're trying to do. So there isn't necessarily a out-of-the-box activity that scores engagement like that. However, you can use, I mentioned the Einstein activity. There is an Einstein engagement activity that actually predicts what level of engagement the subscriber will have based on all the previous data you've gathered on them. And you can customize your content to that. But you can also use, there's these things called update contact activities, where you can write back data to a data extension that you can then use for reporting or putting together however you want. And a lot of times when I create journeys, I always include update contact activities after every step of the journey where I am making a decision. So have they done something? And if so, I want to know that. So I'm writing that back to a data extension. Okay, they went down this path because they did this, or they went down this path because they did that. And then later on, I can use that in my reporting, or when I'm coming up with new versions of the journey I want to do, I can use that data to kind of help me direct how I'm going to do that.
Yeah, again, so many functionalities. It's really quite amazing. And I just had one more question. So when using those automation tools, well, it looks like we have one from an attendee. So let's jump to that one. So let's see. If you used it before, can you talk a little bit about GA4 integration with Salesforce Marketing Cloud Journey Builder?
Yeah, so the GA integration with Marketing Cloud overall gives you the ability to do kind of two things. And this is kind of independent of GA4. It's more of just whether you have universal or you've made the switch to GA4. That integration between the two systems, one allows you to apply consistent UTM tags to every email that goes out of Marketing Cloud, so that when they land on a page, GA is picking up what campaign they came from, whatever the UTM tags you include. You don't have to manually include those in your emails. If you set up the integration and define those tags, every email that is sent out of Journey Builder will include those tags. So that's kind of the Marketing Cloud to Google side of it. Then there's the Google to Marketing Cloud side, where you can create audiences in GA based off of the data that you have gathered from their on-site experiences, and directly inject those into journeys in Journey Builder. So consistent tagging out and ability to create audiences and send them into journeys in Marketing Cloud. And then you can also see some of your, and this is where the GA4 is a little, I'm not sure if it's 100% where it needs to be at, because we've seen some inconsistency. But when you have Journey set up, you can see some of your GA data directly in the Journey Builder analytics. So it's basically just pulling in those views of data into what they show you when you're within the journey.
really cool.
Yeah.
All right, well, it looks like that's all of the questions for today, and we are at time. So Adam, thank you so much for presenting today and sharing everything you know about Salesforce Marketing Cloud. I'm sure the conversation could go on forever. And I want to thank everybody else for joining today. I'll be sending out the recording as well as a PDF of the slides in a follow-up email, so keep an eye out for that. And in the meantime, have a great week, and we'll see you at the next SDEC session in June.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.